I talk about sex because I'm not having any. Zero. Sex is heaven. I am postmenopausal. I'm so far past menopause, I'm back to pre-puberty. Do you feel that? How old do you feel? Like, what do I feel? Like, I'm feeling like 14, 15, maybe 15. I don't know. I feel very immature. I'm trying to think of, like, what would I put on my personal ad? You know, like, do they even call them that anymore? What do they call them? Profile? What do you call them, kids? Dating profile? Is that the correct term? That's how out of it I am. I mean, I'm back in the old days with a newspaper. I'm on the old people's dating app. I'm looking, thinking. I'm not on Tinder. I'm on Timber.
We are Moms Unhinged, a nationally touring stand-up comedy show. Join us in our podcast as we explore everything from motherhood, midlife crisis, marriage, divorce, online dating, menopause, and other things that irritate us. All right. Cheers. Cheers. We're on the
good after morning.
Good after morning. Good morning to Nancy at 1 p.m.
That's it. Come on. You guys stop shaming the night owls.
Exactly.
Right?
You guys
get
get all the stuff done while we're
it's a
sleeping.
genetic predisposition to not be a morning person. I'm tired of being shamed for it. So I'm celebrating. I got up for this. I got up for this 1 o'clock podcast. Rise and shine.
Good morning. You guys, we are Moms Unhinged. I'm super excited to be talking today to the amazing, the hilarious Nancy Norton.
Settle down. I have built up some skills over the last 35 years. I can own that. But yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me, and thanks for having me on Moms Unhinged. I love doing the mom. They're my favorite shows.
Yeah, there's so much fun, and you guys, it's such an honor for me to be working with Nancy. She's incredible. She just like crushes every time. It's just I love having you on the show. So, and I'm excited to have you on the podcast. So, yeah.
Thanks. Same.
And so why don't we just dive in now that we're talking about comedy? Start about how you got started as a comedian. And you've been a road dog, you've been out there, you've been doing festivals.
I did.
Yeah. How did you?
I did. I put 300,000 miles on my Honda Accord in the 90s, touring around the country. And now I look back on that and I realize, actually, I think every comedian underestimates how long it really takes to develop these skills. Like, I don't think you have your stage legs till you're at least 10 years in. I don't, personally. But I was a slow learner because I had so much stage fright. Like, I had cotton mouth. And I still, quite frankly, the reason I'm leaning over to my table, the reason I drink Emergency, I still get a little nervous. I still can get stage fright. So, but what's wild is I wanted to do comedy since I was 4, but because of my severe stage fright, I went into nursing. Which I also had a lot.
Sounds terrifying.
I was not. Looking back, actually, I'm a 5th generation nurse, so I have a lot of intuition, a lot of I was a good nurse, and I really worked hard to be a good nurse, but it took everything I had with my ADHD to be organized at all. And I'm a type B. I'm not I'm not a leader. I've never been a charge nurse or a head nurse. But I do and still love connection. That's my main love language of just authenticity. Yeah. And so I was working, this is how I got into comedy, is helping people die. And I know that's weird, but I was helping people in my 20s transition, and it was sacred to me. And I was like, wow, people are so, it was the most real relationships I'd ever had. And people that are dying, they don't waste their time. And they told me, honey, live your dreams, basically. I mean, I was asking them questions at the end of their life, how is it you're at peace? And my goal became to die with peace. And I know that's a weird life goal, but I got it. In my mid to late 20s, I'm like, I want to die with peace like that person. Right. And she was saying, oh yeah, that's because I did the things, I wanted. A lot of people I ask, and they were like, I had the family, I traveled, I wrote the book, whatever it was, they did it. And
I think
that's
a great
when I knew,
goal.
I go, oh, I have to do it. I got the epiphany. I have to do stand up. at least once. And I was just going to do it once.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. I was just going to go on stage once. And this is so weird, Andrea. It's the weirdest, like, start out story. I had never been in a comedy club, had no clue. Can't even explain it. It's like a higher power talking to me. I got goosebumps. Maybe I've shared this with you. I don't know. Yeah, I have. I love talking about it. But I really, that day, I had that epiphany. I turned on the TV, and there's an episode of Mary Tyler Moore saying a guy on there, Jerry Van Dyke, played the character, wanted to do stand-up, and finally, like, did it. It was like, weird, like, what are the odds?
Yeah.
And then a commercial came on. Do you think you're funny? Do you want to enter this contest? And I entered it, and I practiced, I had stage fright, so I ran the 2 minutes in front of my microwave with a flashlight on top of it. And I had a shaky voice, literally. My mom had the same thing, talking in public, shaky. And so I was a postmenopausal smoker. I disguised it. And I had a character I'd met in nursing school, and her name was Velma. No, this wasn't her real name. But this was like a character. My name's Velma, and I'm an alcoholic. I have not had a drink since 1955. I don't care if that is 5 till 8 in military time. Still pretty good for me. But anyway, I based it on, some people I had met. We had to go to AA meetings in nursing school in our uniform. It was awkward. But I met this lady, and she was just like bona fide character, postmenopausal smoker, lived hard, but she was in recovery, and it was, I don't know. But anyway, I disguised that voice, and the owner sat down next to me after and said, "Hey, you're funny. You want to come work here?" I was like, I have no idea how to do this. I have never done this. Because I'll show you. I'll show you how to do it. Like, it was bizarre.
Oh my gosh.
And I bombed for 2 years. Bombed hard for 2 years. It was like awful. I was like, why am I doing this, God? But I had to keep going. It was terrible. I was terrible. Cotton mouth.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember anything.
Yeah,
I can't believe he had me back. Honestly, I can't believe he kept having me back. For 3 years, I was the house MC of the Honolulu Comedy Club. That's where I was doing nursing.
That is amazing. I love that story.
Thanks for letting me share it again. I love sharing that story
so much. I think it's just, and it just really shows, like, again, like, that lesson you learned in your 20s. So many people don't even get that until they're, midlife. That's what the midlife crisis is about. It's like, oh my God, time is short, but you got it in your 20s, and that is such a gift.
It is a gift, and I'm grateful for my nursing license. I'm grateful for those really rich experiences at such a, time of immortality. But when you are watching, and that was the 80s, so I was helping young men, like that had AIDS, and that was like, these men were not much older than me, or maybe the same age, so it was like, I got it. Like, I am going to die. Like, because you do have immortality feeling in your 20s. But when you're in it day after day, you're like, oh, wait, I will die.
Yeah.
And what do I wish I'd done? And I'm glad I had that early on. I'm grateful for the epiphany, not for the reason for it. I'm so sorry for the young men that died before their time, and anyone who dies before their time. Right. Or even when you die at your time.
Death is just hard, no matter what.
Is this like the root of all humor? I think the root of all humor is suffering, right? Like, trying to relieve our suffering of knowing that we are mortal beings.
It is. We're mortal. We're imperfect. We make all these mistakes, and let's go talk about it on stage.
And that is my motto. Like, hey, let me show you my, I'm going to say, ass. Let me show you my mistakes. Right. I don't know why I put it in quotes. Ass. Like, if you need time to bleep it. Bleep. Let me show you my mistakes. So, hopefully you feel a little more forgiving about your own. Right. My goal really is to help heal myself and others with humor. I still have that nurse inside me. Yeah. And I want that every show. I want people like, dude, and also my son's 21, so I can actually share some things. I got to be honest, that I would not be comfortable sharing if the state could take custody of him. There is a freedom of like,
you can't take him away. He's too old.
The state does not want this kid at this point. He is 21, and he is in my basement right now as we speak.
And if you want him, please come get him.
Take my son, please.
Yeah, right.
Not really. I love this kid.
Yeah.
Of course, we all love our kids.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
we're human, and we have generational trauma. And me, I have trauma reactivity. I have a criminal record. I may be the most unhinged. I don't want to brag.
But that is great. I love that. I love how personal and how much you share on stage, because I think it is really true that we just are able to say, wow, I am not alone in, kind of the things that I have done, or maybe I feel embarrassed about, or whatever it is. I think the shows in themselves are healing. Comedy is healing because of that. So it is very true.
Absolutely. And I just, I have a podcast called Traumedy, not to pitch, but I will.
No,
I do think
please.
It's important to get it out there because it's helping people. So it's TROMEDY. But I just interviewed a psychiatrist. I mean, she is like a lead researcher at our local Colorado Onshoots. And she has done like 86 studies about female brain. And it was really wonderful to hear her talk about postpartum. Now, I adopted my son, and we'll get into that. But I'm just saying to all of you who have given birth, and postpartum hormones are not to be underestimated.
Wow.
And also, like, if you've ever had a hostile thought about your child, she was saying that is so normal. And it's really dangerous to deny your feelings, because sometimes, like with my mother, I do believe she experienced postpartum psychosis. And it's like, I feel for her, because it's so hard for a mom to forgive herself. But if you're not in your right mind,
right,
you can't help it.
Yeah.
And so she actually has been amazing. Her name is Dr. Neill Epperson. If you want to listen to that episode, I'm just telling you, man.
Awesome.
She helped me forgive my mother. She helped me, like, also just for any mom out there, I think it would help you have compassion for yourself. So important.
That is so important. Compassion for ourselves is so underrated, undervalued. And I definitely had some times where I felt like I'd made big mistakes. And just by having that compassion is huge. Just to be able to say, I'm okay, it's okay,
Well, we all have our survival strategies. And, like some of us get kind of rigid. I can get really controlling about trying to keep my son safe, me safe. And sometimes in that, I end up shaming him. And it's like, oh. But the most important thing that my therapist says is to repair the rupture. So if we make a mistake, be humble. Say, I'm sorry that it didn't belong to you. I say that to my son quite often. That did not belong to you. I have complex PTSD, and I am reactive. And I think it's really important. I think it's really important to try and heal that generational trauma and do our recovery work and make amends and use humor. My son, oh my gosh, he'll say to me, that's an issue, not an ish me. So he's empowered.
That's hilarious.
And he's
so
still
funny.
in my basement. Let's remember.
Yes. Yeah.
He did not flee. He's still here.
He's still. Yes. That's so. And let's talk about your son. Let's talk about. I love your adoption story. You adopted him from Nepal, and I want to hear more about that, because I love the story of you. The whole story. You be bringing him home, and you share this in.
Oh yeah.
Too.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, I had fertility issues. So one of the things I've been thinking about with Moms Unhinged is I'm getting ready to go on this tour up to the Northwest is like, I want to take a moment, because I do have women come up to me after the show sometimes with special needs kids, or with, like, I have a friend whose son is on the streets right now, addicted to drugs. And it's like, how I want to make space for women, who've had like sadnesses around parenting as well.
For sure.
So I was like, I had fertility issues, I had miscarriages, and then it didn't help that my last partner had a low sperm count. 0 was the count, and
0,
absolutely no testicles, and was a woman. So
spoiler.
I'm versatile. I'm just trying to say I am a pansexual, but really I'm a barely sexual. Anyway, point is, for 12 years I wanted a child. For 12 years, it wasn't even rational, like I was touring as a comedian. I got no space for this in my life, right? But this calling would not, the calling. When you want to be a mom, you can't, it's something. I don't know if it's like Spock, it's biological captain, or if it's.
I think it is, for sure.
Nobody's going to get that reference except the nerds.
It's okay.
That's a good episode of Star Trek where Spock has to go home and breed. Anyway. Sorry, I digress. Is 30 minutes up? Anyway, I always say all roads led to Biswas, which is his Nepalese name, and it means have faith, believe, and trust. And they gave it to him at the orphanage. Like as soon as I heard his name, and I'm telling you, it was a 2-year adoption journey. Things went south, lots of issues I'm not going to go into, but it was like kind of a miracle, really, that I stayed 6 months. I was supposed to be there 2 weeks, but anyway, my heart's desire, my willpower, my humor helped me stay. And so I got goosebumps when I heard his name. And I do believe in truth chills. I knew, just like those truth chills, when I feel like higher power called me to do comedy, my son called me and I called him. You know what? Like, it's definitely a reciprocal relationship. He saved me. I did save his life. I mean, I'm a nurse, and he was getting reinfected in the hospital with the cloth diapers. He had a really bad kidney infection, and they were washing the diapers on the floor of the bathroom. Anyway, I took him out. I asked him if I could please take him out of the hospital and give him IV antibiotics at my apartment in Kathmandu. So we kind of saved each other's lives, seriously. Like he's the reason I'm no longer in sociopathic relationships. And seriously, when I started looking at partners through his eyes, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, just because my mom had some tendencies, just because I can tolerate this, I can't put him through this, And anyway, so he did. We saved each other's lives. And I always say all roads led to Biswas. And then, his name, have faith, believe, and trust. And yet, cut to 6 months later, we're on the airplane coming home from Nepal, 30-hour journey with just me and a baby. He was 12 months. I say 12 months because it sounds better than 1 year. Like, and just so you know, he was 12 months old. Yeah. So young. And he was a good little traveler. Right. Although I overfed him and he did explode on my lap. But I brought
it's hard. You don't know how much to feed him. I was always like, eat.
I know. Exploded. Well, the doctor, I was like worried about attachment, after an adoption. He goes, you feed him, you love him, you change him, he'll bond with you. And so I was like, every time he looked at me, I'm like, feed. So I just kept putting a bottle in his mouth. Anyway, poor little guy. I only brought one outfit for myself and 16 for him. But you can wash a shirt in that little toy bathroom. But I think what you're getting at is when the unhinged moment. Yeah. When I first started the forgiveness for my mom, is when I channeled probably the ancestors. And we were in the Bangkok airport, in a layover. And he's playing with a ball. And I have been alone with him. And I had to go to the bathroom. Yeah. You know how it is. And he was already running and he was running. He was precocious. Yeah. And I took him in the bathroom stall. And I wish that, I don't understand the whole design of the stall with that.
Why is there such a big gap under there?
I guess if people get locked in, it's easier to get them out. I don't know. I was trying to figure that out too. Yeah. Like, why can't we have privacy? Anyways, second of all, I had to, I was in the number 2 bathroom, that's one of my jokes. It's like, I don't care what gender bathroom. I want to know, are you in the number 1 or the number 2? That's all I care about. So I, was in the moment, and I was trying to hold on to him. But at some point, you have to grab a little tissue, let go of the toddler. Yeah. He dove under the door.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was terrified because there's no documentation when you go on an airplane. You can just pick up a kid and put him on a plane, they don't even ask. Yeah. I went into total fear and combo rage. Yeah. I was saying his name.
I love that combo.
Well, they are sisters. Fear and rage. They really are. If you're, another therapist I interviewed on Traumedy said, fear screams, wisdom whispers. And I thought, it was not a whisper. It was a scream. So I was screaming. And his beautiful name, have faith, believe, and trust. I was like, I was saying it with such rage and shame and like all the energy I could muster that would get my attention. Yeah. If my mother used that tone, right. I was like, yes, ma'am. Yeah. But not Biswas. He has Teflon to shame. I was like, Biswas. And that little guy just smiled. He laid on the floor just outside the stall. At least I could see him. And then worse than running away, I got to be honest, as a nurse. He was on the floor of Bangkok Airport doing snow angels. And I have to do small pantomimes in this little window.
Yeah.
Like, those are his hands. And he had a ball he was playing with, and then he was rubbing that on the floor and went and put it in his mouth. And I was
Oh
like,
my God. Oh my God.
Like, I'm losing my mind.
And there's nothing you can do. You're
the powerlessness. And that is part of my codependency recovery, is to just like sit in the powerlessness.
Yeah.
You know, I cannot control other people, not even a 12-month-old. But anyway,
especially enough.
he has a lot of germ resistance, turns out.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because you had to save his life once. You're probably thinking, not,
That's it.
you know.
With my nursing record, can I do it again? I don't know. But yeah. Actually, he stayed well. He has been well. So that feels really good, I have to say.
Yeah. That's so great. And what an amazing gift to be able to adopt him and be able to, raise him while you're growing this comedy career. That's incredible. Like, that must have been so challenging.
Yes. As a single mom, I mean, here's the thing. The reality was for me, and we have another member in our community right now who's single parenting, Janae Burris, and it's truly single parenting. It's not divorce parenting. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I don't. It's still harder
different.
for divorce.
No,
Listen,
but it's different.
There's different challenges for both, because my ex, who I did adopt with, turned out to be a sociopath, according to the Safe House. Okay. Anyway, it's true, though. I mean, I have to almost say it with a laugh because it's so upsetting. But the truth is, okay, I wasn't going to be a single parent. And then he was 2.5 when this big explosive, I threw a guitar, went to jail for a day. But like I said, the Safe House was like, you did the right thing. You ended the physical, she was attacking me. I threw it out, blocked her out of the house, and it ended the physical violence. But according to the state of Colorado, that is a felony. So they don't, and she was a lawyer, whatever. What I'm saying is, though, then suddenly I was a single mom with a 2.5-year-old going through not just single parenting, dusting off my nursing license, because I could not tour. I tried. I took the pack and play, the potty chair. I tried to get the club owners, teenage kids to babysit, and it was not viable. It was not sustainable. Yeah. Right. So I had to dust off my license. I had to find a home for us because I couldn't go back to my home that I had spent 5 years building. I just want you to know, this is what humor can do for you. Humor got me through all this. Because honestly, there was a time I was like, I don't know if I want to be here right now. But, when you have a toddler, you can't even take a nap, much less end your life. So, you have to joke about this stuff because it's real. I think people will know I'm speaking truth. And then I had to go through like 3 trials. I had to go for a trial for my house, a trial for this, criminal offense. And then she wanted a permanent protective order. And I was just like, you're the one that attacked me. But it was crazy. Anyway, bottom line is, I had to pause comedy. I only for 10 years, I had to just do occasional gigs that would come my way, and I'd get a babysitter, maybe like 2 or 3 gigs a month at the most. And now I do 2 or 3 gigs a week, or more, depending on the week. Like this coming up, I have 16 days in a row, it's going to be good, but busy. But he's 21 now. He's almost independent. I know that was heavy stuff that I shared, but it's part of life. And there are women out there who have gone through domestic violence who know. And when I went to the Safe House meetings, and I went for a year, it's not, just so if anybody's out there going through this hell, these sociopathic people, it almost always gets flipped on you. They don't care. She didn't care that there's a toddler and a mom without a home. Sociopaths have no empathy. They don't care. But anyway, I am not a victim, but I was victimized. But I use humor to find empowerment and jokes around it.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible because, you can be really defeated from something like that. And, I think the other thing about being a mom in some of these situations you are now existing not just for yourself, but, that probably made you more creative or resilient in that situation to say, what do I need to do to make this happen and put a roof over this little toddler's head?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing I know about myself, and I think most moms know, is like, we will do what we have to do.
Yeah,
And I did. And I
absolutely.
was able to find a job that I could do after being, inactive. My nursing license was inactive for 13 years. And so I was like, what am I going to do,
Mm-hmm.
at this point? But I found a job, like a home care job, where I took care
Mm-hmm.
of one quadriplegic man, and I could Google things I didn't know. And it was
Yeah,
low stress. So I had energy for my toddler. And
it's
he
great.
turned out he loved I found the best daycare for him.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Rainbow Preschool in Boulder, Colorado.
Wow.
I mean, he loved it there.
Yeah, yeah,
And so it all worked out.
yeah. That's
And
great.
I mean, but it is, like you say, there is a thing called post traumatic growth that
Mm-hmm.
people have a lot of gifts and creativity sometimes from abuse and trauma.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's it's got a trial by fire type of thing. So,
Well, it does force neuronal growth exponentially. Yeah.
wow. Wow. That's amazing. And then, I think the other cool thing too about this is really not discounting how much time you have after they're grown. Like I think that is the exciting thing. A lot of the comedians in the Moms Unhinged group are, they are empty nesters or their kids are a little older. And, once they get to that stage, it can be now time for us. I mean, it's great if you can juggle things. I know that men aren't always expected to juggle things the way we do, but, we can really focus on our careers, when they get older and, be working 16 days a row or whatever whatever you've
I
got going
know. I know.
on.
I am grateful. I love doing comedy. After
Yeah.
35 years, I still
Yeah.
love it. And as you know, we both are members of a speaker association, or have been.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's been my growth in the last 10 years, is doing these talks about the power of humor as a
Yeah.
keynote speaker. So
Yeah.
I love doing that too, for nurses, healthcare workers, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Honestly, that's what changed my life as a single mom, reading those articles about what
Mm-hmm.
humor does for your brain
Yeah.
and for your stress. Like,
Yeah.
when you laugh, come out to Moms Unhinged and laugh, because it actually gets rid of stress hormones in your body.
Yeah.
And it actually boosts your immunity when you laugh.
Yeah,
It
lowers
helps
your
you fight
cortisol.
diseases.
Yeah, lowers your cortisol. I've got cortisol coming out my ears lately. I don't. It's like a little
Can
puddle
you
of
draw?
cortisol.
You should draw a picture of that.
Little-
That would be good therapy, heart therapy. Cortisol coming out your ears.
Cortisol puddles on the stage as we're getting rid of it all.
So,
No.
but that's where you got to keep laughing.
Yeah, for
know?
sure.
And I mean, truly, it's counterintuitive. So I always tell people, like, it's ironic. It doesn't add another wedge to your pie chart, but just sprinkle a little on top of your pie, a little humor. Every time, it's counterintuitive. When you least feel like you have time to laugh is when you need
Right.
it the most.
Right. Yeah, and that has been a thing that we've had people come up to us after the shows talking about, like, big events. We had someone who said their friend had committed suicide, not that long ago, and they didn't
Yeah.
want to come to the show. And it is true that it is when you least maybe feel like it. You think,
Yeah.
it's going to be funny.
I have heard that time and again at Moms Unhinged shows. Moms just saying, I needed this so much. I haven't laughed this hard in so long. And,
Yeah.
and especially, moms that have, some special circumstances.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I hate to say how common it is. I hate to
Yeah.
say how common domestic violence is,
Yeah.
how common some of these, hardships are.
Yeah.
Depression is real. And it's like, actually, when you laugh, it raises your serotonin. It actually is an antidepressant.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And before we wrap up, I just want to talk about two amazing things I didn't even touch on. And we were kind of cheersing in the beginning. I didn't even talk about your bio at all. But you were the first woman to win the Boston Comedy Festival.
Yes, after 20 years of that festival, no female had ever won it.
Yeah.
And I was 58 when I won it. So it was a bunch of younger comedians, and it's Boston. It's pretty, male dominated area. I'm not going to say area, but you know what I mean. But yeah. So
But you
first
were
female.
first
After
female to
20
win that?
after 20 years of that festival.
20 years.
And then the next year I went to Seattle
Yeah.
International Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
And only one other woman had won it, and that was in 1985. So
Wow.
this was the 40th Seattle International Comedy Competition, which is a 3-week competition. It's a grueling grind. You have to stay in the top 5 every night for like 3 weeks in a row. And again, lots of younger guys. That year I would have been 59. And somehow old Nance pulls out the victory and the cha-ching. Yeah. I got $10,000 for winning Boston and $5,000 for winning Seattle. And I needed that money as a single mom. So I was grateful.
Amazing. I really feel like Seattle should have been more given the 3 weeks.
Well, that's just the way. Well, it's not a winner take all. Boston is a winner take all festival, but Seattle, everybody gets some money. So it's nice. Like winner takes the most, but it's divided among the participants. So a lot of times, it is hard to do some of these long festivals because it was a miracle that I could do that, that I could take that time off. And I, thank my friend Diane Dandino for that because she watched my son while I was gone.
That is awesome. That's so great. So, Nancy, why don't you give people more information about where they can find you? And we'll link to your podcast, of course, and that episode you talked about for sure. But tell us where they can get a hold of you, get connected to you.
Oh, yeah. You can just find my website, nancynorton.tv, like television.
Yeah.
nancynorton.com is a jeweler if you need some jewelry. She got it first.
Dang it.
So
nancynorton.tv.
Yeah, it's weird. There's a suffix. I think it's actually a country. But I just thought it was kind of a fun. It's also my Instagram, nancynorton.tv. Yeah. So if you want to see clips and also, Find Traumedy, the podcast. If you have some, there's like over 100 episodes now with all different kinds of trauma survivors, a lot of comedians talking openly.
Yeah.
And Andrea, thank you for what you're doing, for founding this amazing company, Moms Unhinged. Is this backwards?
No, it's forwards in mine.
Oh, it's backwards in my mirror.
I know,
right? It's mirrored in my thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, seriously, these are so fun. These are some of the most fun shows I ever do. So thanks for putting this together.
Thank you, Nancy. You're incredible. Thank you.
Thank you. Peace.
Thanks for listening, and make sure you subscribe, share, and follow us on the socials to get more comedy clips.